talk about this. Stacy, you put this out on Twitter, and this is just amazing. This is the thing. President Bukele tweeted this out. Stacy, you retweeted it, and you just put it's Bukele fever, which is, and I want to show this to the audience. This is from a Korean news channel. This is their, like, you can't hide from what is happening in El Salvador. You can try to say crazy stuff, and I'm going to show you a clip in a second of Liz Warren has said some more nonsense, but this is when, like, what Bukele has done here, and I'm here seeing it on a day-to-day basis, and it's now, you can't deny what he's doing.
네, 이번엔 중남미로 가보네요.
네, 부켈레 신드롬입니다.
부켈레 하면 엘살바도르 대통령 아닙니까?
네.
그 비트코인을 세계 최초로 법정 통화로 지정해서 깜짝 모두를 놀라게 했잖아요.
그렇습니다. 그 비트코인 대통령 부켈레가 최근 그 재선에 도전을 했는데
네.
유권자 80%가 넘는 몰표를 받으면서 가히 신드롬이 일고 있다고 합니다.
80%가 넘는 표를
네,
받았다.
대통령궁 앞에 수많은 인파가 모였습니다. 그 재선에 성공한 부켈레 대통령을 축하하는 인파인데요.
네.
사실 당선은 예견된 일이었습니다. 부켈레 신드롬이라 할 정도로 큰 지지를 받았거든요. 얼마나 인기가 좋았는지 그 부켈레 대통령 얼굴이 담긴 가방이며 뭐 모자, 열쇠고리 셔츠 같은 각종 상품들까지 등장했습니다.
아니, 대통령 굿즈라니 이건 뭐 아이돌급 인기 아닌가요?
네, 심지어는 부켈레 대통령의 수염과 헤어스타일이 유행을 하고 있고요.
네.
So that was a lengthy response, but even before you guys responded to that, the thing that impressed me, well, first of all, they didn't come in with all of the like sort of ridiculous criticisms that the American press comes in with. I mean, they just sort of asked questions. They didn't like come in with this like slanted view that the American press has, that so clearly the American press has. And, it started out, the American press would usually do this the opposite way. They would start with all this negative stuff and then like at the very end go, yeah, and some people consider him popular and the murder rate's down. Anyway, then they cut to some ad about a war or whatever, something like that, where they really spelled out all of the good stuff and then just asked questions like a journalist should, just about these other issues. And it was really impressive to me that this is, Bukele fever is spreading around the world. And so, how do you guys see this as like, not just Korea, but other countries will start to kind of wake up to what he's doing here?
I feel like it's early Bitcoin. So back in 2011, when we were covering Bitcoin, and it was $21 million market cap. It's now $1 trillion market cap. But at that time, it was tiny, right? In the world of finance. In 2011, who would have ever imagined, really? Not very many did, that, BlackRock and the rest of Wall Street would be, pumping their Bitcoin ETFs. So back then, it was a tiny, tiny little member of the global financial community. El Salvador is a tiny, tiny country of 6.5 million people. Like there are more people in Los Angeles or in New York City. But when anybody looked at Bitcoin, and we were covering it in Keiser Report, the more eyes that looked at it, the more powerful Bitcoin grew in the financial sector, because what they found was perfect money. And the same thing has happened here. It was President Bukele first, when he adopted Bitcoin, that turned all eyes of the world in the media, well, especially US media, right? They looked at President Bukele and El Salvador. What is this Bitcoin? Why did this country adopt Bitcoin? And he fortunately was like a perfect leader. Bitcoin was perfect money. He's a perfect leader. And he's articulate and charismatic, and he could answer their questions, and he could deliver his principles and his vision. He was able to articulate it to the world in a mesmerizing way. And so they're very similar in that sort of regard, is that El Salvador's footprint in the global mind share is growing bigger and bigger, way beyond its small size of a country. So I think what you're seeing, it's like he's Korea is covering El Salvador. That is exactly what a leader should be doing, right? Part of a leader is like growing your economy, establishing your sovereignty and independence and all that stuff. But it's also drawing in the best and brightest around the world, bringing in tourists, putting the name of your country on the map. And he's doing a great job of that. He's a great salesman for El Salvador.
Yeah, what's remarkable watching all this Bukele mania grip the world is essentially the president is a political office holder, and politics is something, it's an idea that's 2,700 years old. You know, it's an ancient idea, politics, you know, invented in Greece. And yet he's made it sound like a new Apple computer, you know, or a new Tesla rocket. You know, these people are, think about the breathless way they're covering this. It's like the way they would approach a driverless car or a rocket to Mars.
True.
And they're describing essentially something that's as old as can be. You know, the modern Western world defined 2,700 years ago by the polis or politics. So in that regard, the man is a genius in reinventing the wheel, reinventing politics in a way that makes it incredibly exciting for people all over the world.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that so strikes me is in the way they're, but also like just from like Bitcoin, it's proof of work, right? Bitcoin is proof of work. So he's proven, like when he bought all the Bitcoin and everyone said, oh, he's gambling, and then the price went down and was like, oh, he's losing. It's like to your point earlier, when you think in fiat terms and all the media in the world is thinking fiat terms, oh, the price is down, Bitcoin, oh, Bukele's gambling. It's like, well, now the price is back up, and if the fiat price is up, it's like, oh, now he looks like a genius. So it's really, there's proof of work. The quality of life is better because the crime is down. And yeah, I mean, like when I interviewed the Minister of Education last week, he's very upfront, and Bukele is upfront about this as well. There's a lot of problems this country still has because they're coming off of 4 decades or more of all of these problems. But like Bitcoin, that has these huge surges and more people get involved. Like you said, it had a 21 million market cap or whatever in 2011. Now it's we're over $1 trillion. And you're just seeing the quality of life is just going to get better and better in El Salvador. And it's going to become that this little country that it was only known for, as he said at CPAC, the really kind of disappointing marker of murder capital is now other countries are going to, hey, what are they doing there? Like the way they study like the Japanese education system, and that people are going to be studying this country as it gets better and better. And it is amazing to watch, and it's amazing to be a part of. And I'm like, I'm so grateful for the Bitcoin community and for the two of you for really like inspiring me to come down here and be a part of this. Cause I'm seeing it. It's really, I went to the Bitcoin farmers market Sunday, and it was just, that was cool. I'm going to a meetup tomorrow night in San Salvador, and Roman just asked me to speak at the one in El Zonte on Friday. And I'm just like, it's so exciting to be a part of this, and that they're covering this in Korea. And there's people from Premier Bitcoin have just flown to Madeira. Like some of them have never traveled, and now they're going to Portugal, and everyone's going to look to them as like, oh, wow, you're from El Salvador. Like, speak to us, you know, like it's so impressive.
Right. Well, see the 2-year bear market when everybody was making fun of the president, and as you pointed out, that was actually a godsend for us, like what we've been doing in terms of the Bitcoin office. Man, we were building, and you'll see that, you know, we're so ready for this bull market. We will, you know, bull markets are hard, just as hard, if not harder, to survive for most people and companies, and you know, especially individuals. To survive with your integrity and holdings intact, right? So I think we are ready. Like, we built so much, especially that foundation of education. As you talk to the education minister, the Bitcoin office got, you know, Meet Premier Bitcoin into all the high schools. We're working on a K-8 workbook now. We did Kubo Plus training Bitcoin and Lightning devs in El Salvador, Salvadoran Bitcoin and Lightning devs. We're about to start the 2024 class of Kubo Plus. we're training. We have a program training our civil servants and bureaucrats. So we've been like, it took a year for each program to build it. Like it took a lot of work and a lot of time to build that, but we built it, and it was great to have the peace and quiet of the bear market to do that. And I mean, we built a lot of stuff, but you'll really see the results, how solid everything will be. Like it's not a fragile foundation that exists in El Salvador. And we also attracted like a lot of the best builders in the Bitcoin space. And now with the bull market on and Wall Street and US media talking about it, everybody's going to be trying to get those same people that we already landed, right? They're already like emotionally, psychologically, and physically committed to El Salvador. Their headquarters are there. They're moving there. They've committed to moving there. They're setting up their companies there. And they're already committed to us. We were reaching out to them during the bear market. Nobody was thinking of them during the bear market but us. So I think you're going to see that 2024 and 2025, when the bull market is in the super parabolic phase, you're going to see that El Salvador really, we have a great leader, we have perfect money, and you're going to see the results. It's going to be interesting. This is like giving the opportunity to live in Florence during the best time of the Renaissance.
Yeah, the bear market was definitely helpful because a lot of the projects, the shit coins, they imploded, and they scared a lot of people off remember, that was the era of Luna, Terra Luna, and Celsius, and these other projects that just like blew up. And so and FTX famously, right? Sam Bankman-Fried, he was the king of that era, and he blew up, and everyone was really and rightfully on guard about the dangers of everything that's not Bitcoin. And so what we've been doing is really pushing the Bitcoin maximalist button, hard, and that, you don't have these problems with the Bitcoin because it always encourages more conviction, and it's the only irreproducible asset of its kind ever. And you can't create irreproducibility twice. You can only do it once, and it's perfect money. And so, and now that the bull market is here, the stage has been set, the foundation has been laid, and we're going to see some great things drop.